What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite for a very unexpected video here for you guys this evening. We're going to be talking about the early download, a brand new look at Season 2 Reloaded's Keyart, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. In the background, we got some clean new gameplay of Overdrive, which finally got added to multiplayer just this past afternoon. For whatever reason, it was confirmed to be a launch mode within Season 2, but I guess it got pushed back a couple of weeks. Not sure what happened there, but it is absolutely a new and improved version of the mode that we saw back in BO6. I don't really feel like the game mode is ending as fast as it was back in Black Ops 6. Maybe that's because the maps are a little bit bigger, so it gives us more time to breathe, more time to drop streaks. But you may have also noticed in Overdrive that folks out there have this aura or energy around them every time they are on a hot streak, which I don't believe was actually a thing in Black Ops 6. So it's kind of cool to get a visual that a player is on a high streak with a bunch of stars, which of course gives them extra perks and faster movement abilities. But today was also the beginning of the Dead Ops Arcade 4 Leaderboard event. As a reminder, I did post a full in-depth guide on how to get a high score in that mode, especially if you're a beginner to the mode itself and never played previous Dead Ops or didn't get into it here in Black Ops 7. That video is going to be linked down below. I'm somebody out there, like many of you, who isn't really going to be joining a bracket until maybe tomorrow afternoon. I do think that does help a little bit with avoiding some of the sweats in certain brackets. If you just wait a good 24 hours after the event begins, probably no longer than that, but I'd say if you start it by like Friday afternoon or Friday evening by the latest, you'll probably get some better players who aren't absolutely dedicated to getting top 5 or even first place. This week was also pretty quiet when it comes to news or any real details about Season 2 Reloaded, but yeah, in a perfect world, I would love to see the Shattered Veil of Verdansk type content drop where they split the two up. So maybe we can end up getting Paradox Junction March 5th and then Blackout with Reloaded on March 12th. I know that's probably not going to happen, but I think it would be beneficial to at least split the releases up by a good 24 hours in the case of somebody out there like me that does play every single mode and wants to try to get some type of sleep before jumping into the next thing. Now today we also got the launch of the ARC M1 frame via the Week 4 weekly challenges, and I gotta say it's a good deal of fun. I mean, I played around with it a bit in Face-Off, haven't used it in Warzone yet, but if you can hit your shot with it, it's great. I mean, if you're somebody that wants to grind launchers for whatever mastery camo you're going for, then this is absolutely a must to make the ARC worthwhile and to make it somewhat competitive against real people, since before it just was not viable whatsoever unless you're just shooting down score streaks or equipment, and even that would be a bit of an issue since the launcher just isn't very good. But with this thing here, I mean, it's not quite the EM1 from Advanced Warfare, but still worthy, I'd say, as maybe a secondary. Wouldn't run it as my main unless I'm grinding camos for it, but you guys could see here, if you just hit that shot, and I mean, even if an enemy's weak, you can kind of get some blast radius damage on that enemy and still take them out. Can't quite get multiple kills with it unless maybe enemies are really bunched together, but hey, if you're going up in a 1v1 and you hit the shot with this thing, then it's pretty much a guaranteed kill. Now, I haven't jumped into the other modes yet, but let me know in the comments how you guys are liking this attachment in Endgame, Warzone, and even Zombies. But a quick recap on today's zombie marketing, we did get confirmation of the Blundergat Wonder Weapon, which we'll be talking more about in a separate zombie vid relatively soon. So that's cool, considering it's been leaked out for, I want to say, almost a year now. Now we know what map it's finally tied to, while Treyarch also confirmed that tomorrow, which is going to be Friday, February the 27th, we'll be getting a taste of Paradox Junction, which we all presume just means the intro cinematic cutscene. I doubt it's going to be a gameplay trailer or a full deep dive with a blog post, but still, it's kind of cool to finally get this culmination of all the teasers we've gotten for DLC 2 ever since January 15th or 115 day. Lots of drawings, lots of images. Things are finally spicing up, and I'll of course be reacting to the intro itself or whatever trailer they end up dropping on a separate live stream Friday afternoon. What I'm also guessing is similar to what I mentioned before about Shattered Veil and Verdansk last year. They'll probably stop zombie marketing tomorrow, and then throughout next week, they'll probably drop some breadcrumbs and some bits of info and official details about Blackout, Season 2 Reloaded, and everything that's non-zombies related before we end up getting the full dedicated roadmap and blog, which we can guess is probably going to be the week of release, the week of March 12th. Probably a good 2-3 days before the content actually releases. That's usually how they do market Reloaded updates anyway. Now, real quick, I wanted to let you guys know about SnackZ. This is brought to you by Aniba, who I've been partnered with for a while, and is honestly one of the easiest side hustles that I've ever seen. You can make upwards of $50 just by playing games today, and I gotta say, you're honestly getting ripped off if you're not using the SnackZ web app while you're playing. So stop wasting time on your phone, because this app does pay you real cash just to play. So if you want to check this out, my special link is down below in this video's description, where you can get upwards of a $10 welcome bonus, and from there, you can then register your account, get some game suggestions, and then select what you want to play to see what rewards you can earn. But thank you to SnackZ for sponsoring tonight's video. But back to the video, and for the meat and potatoes that you've waited for, PlayStation Game Size has reached out to several outlets and creators with the following information. First off, the early download for Season 2 Reloaded should probably end up becoming available for Battle.net and PlayStation users, I want to say a good 24 to 36 hours before March 12th, the supposed release of Season 2 Reloaded. I do want to remind you that a multiplayer leaderboard event called Hunt or Be Hunted does start March 5th, so that kind of does debunk the rumors that Reloaded could be the first week of March. Completely doubt that would be the case, but he did mention that the overall size of the update, while still unknown, is going to increase the overall game by about 10 gigabytes. So if you take a look at how large the game is right now, add 10 gigs to that, and that'll be Reloaded. But that doesn't mean that the download for the midseason will be 10 gigs. Again, we're taking into account Blackout on Avalon, a big new map, plus DLC 2. So the download, for all we know, could be upwards of like 30 to 40 gigs, but that doesn't mean that the download itself will just be 10 gigabytes. In a perfect world, that'd be cool, but I'd say because we're going to be getting a big new map for Blackout Avalon for Battle Royale, on top of DLC 2 Paradox Junction, that's probably going to make the download size relatively larger than usual. I want to guess maybe anywhere from 23 to like 35 gigs. Could even be more than that, and obviously the patch itself will be removing old content, shrinking the overall size of the game, adding stability, a bunch of patches that are needed, and then on top of that, adding the brand new DLC that is a part of Season 2 Reloaded. But what's even crazier here is that the Keyart also got discovered for our mid-season update. Again, you're probably going to see this floating around Twitter a bunch tonight, since these individuals that found it are going to be sending it around to several different outlets out there and probably other creators. So as you can see, we have Blackout here on Avalon. Blackout is back. We can see grapple hooks being utilized, so I mean that's a given, right? They already added grapple hooks into regular Warzone, regular Resurgence, so no doubt we're going to see them here. But no new operator skins that we can point out. We of course see David Mason and our main characters from the campaign. You see Dr. Atwood also climbing up here. The weird thing is the building that they're actually standing on is the same building you see in the distance, so it's kind of like this inverted look at the Avalon space itself, which you can already explore in full if you head into Endgame or play bits of the co-op campaign. What catches my attention though is that red mist in the distance. That's not the storm, because we know from the actual first preview we got of Blackout, the storm's going to be blue or purplish, the way that it was back in Black Ops 4. So that could be a special area where maybe an Easter egg can get done. Maybe you could do some character missions. Looks like a cradle zone that would be an Endgame, or maybe even something similar to the Sky Fractures that are currently in the other Warzone maps. But for anybody wondering if we're going to see a big red filter over the whole map as we could see in Endgame, I don't think that's going to be the case at all, unless there's a quest or something where you could activate that, like the Blood Moon in Haven's Hollow. It's unclear what that is in the distance. I don't think they changed the color of the storm. That would be a bit disappointing. What also catches my attention is that blue energy in the bottom left. I mean, it looks like a power node from Endgame, but that wouldn't really make sense in Battle Royale, would it? So some type of tower with energy could just be something for the environment that just looks pretty. Might not be tied to an Easter egg or anything important for our characters, but really curious to see how they end up handling the loadout system inside of Blackout. I mean, we don't know any information about how that's going to work, whether it's no loadouts, whether it's attachment looting like in the original Blackout. Could we find weapons with prestige attachments on them? What about lootable perks? Manual healing? So many questions with how they're going to make this feel like the original Blackout from BO4. But considering they confirmed they built this from the ground up as like a fresh experience for BR, no doubt in my mind that they're going to end up trying to make this as close as possible to the original Call of Duty Battle Royale. Don't forget, over the last couple of days, I've also made separate videos talking about some of the content coming with the mid-season that has been confirmed thus far, whereas I do plan on making a separate vid probably this weekend going over all the early gameplay that's out there of some of the maps coming, some of the weapons, and other stuff that you may have missed that is going to be releasing in March. But what I wanted to wrap up with, because of all the comments and questions I've seen about this, probably because of all the clickbait scammers, the random Facebook posts, the weird TikToks, is regarding a crossover in Season 2 Reloaded. I want to make things clear, there is absolutely zero information whatsoever about any collab coming to the Mid-Season 2 update. Are there good theories out there? Because we have the release of Resident Evil, we have a new Scream movie, the Peaky Blinders film. Yes, there's some good guesses, because those properties would kind of make sense in COD. I mean, Scream's been in COD before. It would make sense to an extent, although I think horror icons or slashers like Scream or a big franchise like Resident Evil would probably best collab with The Haunting or something. Even though that would kind of make some sense to drop in BO7, there is no leak, there is no rumor, no data mine at all from anywhere about any of these properties crossing over with Call of Duty. I mean, we've been surprised quite a few times in the past where a collab just gets announced and wasn't data mined prior, so one could be added and one could end up happening at some point, but I feel like Season 2 Reloaded is a very unique opportunity, kind of similar to that Nuketown event pass we got in Black Ops 6, where they could just dive deep into the archives of Black Ops and some of the rich cosmetics that became notable over the the years that represent BO4 and Blackout as we know it, and they could easily fill up a free and premium track of an event pass with a bunch of cool operator skins, probably the Swordfish DLC weapon, some free camos, and other inspired content that just fits the identity of Blackout and the return of said mode here inside of Black Ops 7. This is like the season where a crossover, in my opinion, isn't really necessary. I do think it's pretty funny when things out there spread like wildfire and people assume, oh, well, a Peaky Blinders crossover got leaked or there's a Daredevil one coming. And I'm like, wait, that's not actually rumored or leaked. It's just an idea because of the fact that those properties have projects coming out this month or in March. That's not something that is really credible or really worth talking about. I mean, it's cool to speculate like once before the actual Reloaded update gets revealed, but obviously not going to milk that or really give that much attention because right now there's zero information about it. But that is about it, ladies and gentlemen. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on our brand new look at Blackout and Season 2 Reloaded, the early download details, and the pretty big update that we got earlier today in Black Ops 7, which I know some of you guys may not have checked out yet because you might have been playing Marathon or trying out some other things, but pretty cool attachment got added via the weekly challenges. We got a brand new leaderboard event, and even the addition of Overdrive, which we've all been patiently waiting for. With that being said, really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.